The great thing about this show is that it can literally never end, provided there's always something to do. And in this hobby, there always is. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 47 of What's on the Bench Weekly. If you're not familiar with this show, it's where I take you through projects I'm working on, things that have come across the bench, and all kinds of new stuff that's coming out. It's sort of like scale news without all the Josh. And this week is no different. There's tons of stuff happening, lots of new stuff coming in, and projects that I'm still working on, and tons of projects that I need to complete. And now that regionals is over with, I can finally start focusing my attention on some of those things. Now, there were a few house cleaning items that I wanted to get accomplished this week. The first being the SCX10Pro. Now, this is how it sits now. This used to be the Red Moose. I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, but Wyatt, who works at Axial, loved that body. He was at regionals. He said, "Can I buy it off of you?" I said, "Absolutely. I would be honored if you had something of mine in your collection." So I took off all of the sliders, the bumpers, the body, and gave it all to him. So he's making a truck on the SCX10 Pro using all the stuff that I designed, which is pretty amazing, with Josh's help on the body, of course. And now he's got that project for himself. I'm not sure if he has a YouTube channel or not. I don't think he does, but I'll see if I can get some photos from him once he's got that project complete. So I decided to take my SCX10 Pro and make it a little more comp worthy. So used the anime body that I did, the Power Wago. This is just the cab only, which works really well because I'm using Josh's cage from Harley Design's website here, the tray back and the cage to give you a few extra scale points. I printed this in carbon fiber PETG, so it's got a lot more strength than carbon fiber PLA, and it also has a little more flexibility built into it as well, so it should handle any rollovers, and I'm presuming there will be some. So I printed that out and replaced the just the regular PLA cage that I had on there before. I think it looks fantastic on the back of there. Now, this is incorporating a couple other Josh's designs, and I'll be sure to put a link down below where you can pick all of these up. And of course, if you're enjoying this show and you like what's on the bench and you like to see things that are on the bench, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. You can count on this one every week. Most of the time. So there's two other things that Josh designed for the SCX10 Pro that I've incorporated into this build. The first are these really trick sliders. Look at these. So smooth, so contoured, and really, really nice design. Josh is an excellent designer. There's no doubt about it. I hate saying that out loud. But these are really, really, really trick, and they do a great job on these cab-only bodies of protecting and not showing all of the stuff underneath. They are a two-piece design. I printed these in carbon fiber PETG as well for that extra strength, and they are going to be absolutely awesome on the Pro. I think they look fantastic. I think it really cleans up the whole underside of the body. My sliders were good, but they were very specific to that Suga body, so I needed something new. Those are super easy to install, and not a very long print, at least not very long on the Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon. Took about 45 minutes, which is spectacular for the quality that you're getting out of those sliders. Just look at those. Amazing. So smooth. And that's how you want it. The other thing that I've incorporated into this build is this really trick tab system that Josh created. This tab slides into a couple of slots here on the back of the cage to help keep the body in place. It's pretty amazing, actually. It just kind of... I can't see it. There we go. Slides right into place and locks the body in place with the cage. So if I had actually mounted it up front here, which I'm going to do, when I was at the comp, I saw a lot of these like single post screw-on doodads, and I really kind of actually like that for a comp style body, never for a scale build, but for something like this that's really primarily just going to be on the rocks, that made a lot of sense. So I'm going to try to find out where those are from. If you know, put a comment down below. I think Deluxe makes them, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'm going to do some research and find that. And then that way, everything will be locked into place. The body won't come off from the rear. It's a really trick system, and it works really well. Josh did a nice job on that. Again, I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. Anyway, that's where the SCX10Pro sits. I absolutely love this chassis. For the weight of that Suga body, this chassis was fantastic. It performed very well. And while my comp results aren't really nearly as good as they probably should be, I don't blame it on the chassis. I definitely blame it on the driver. And my winch stick guy who kept yelling at me. I'm sensitive. Okay, so that's the SCX10 Pro. I'm really, really thrilled. I love this truck, and I cannot wait to see how well it does with a more comp layout. But you know me, I'm not really good at the comp element, so we'll probably end up putting an interior and a dashboard in there, and a driver. Because, I don't know, I can't drive a truck without all that stuff in there. Okay, on to the next thing. Hopefully you caught the live build of the Tamiya BBX on the BB01 chassis. This car, buggy, is incredible. It's not like any Tamiya kit you've probably built in the past. It's certainly not like any of the ones that you first got into the hobby with the mega hard plastics and limited parts and JIS screws. This is a true modern kit from Tamiya, and there are a few things that I should clear up. Tamiya has many different levels of kit, and that's something that I think is probably lost on a lot of people, is that there are kits like, say, the Grasshopper that are very beginner, and the plastics are quite rigid and not very pliable. Then you get into the sort of the mid-range kits, like the Astute or Egress or Avanti, and you know, those are sort of the more high-end kits. And then you get into the pro level kits, and those feature hex hardware and really good plastics. This one, the BBX, is sort of a combination of that mid-range and that high-range in the Tamiya lineup, and it truly shows. It's hex hardware throughout, which is already a fantastic win. It's a completely new design. It's got this really trick trailing arm suspension setup. It is truly the best kit I've ever put together from Tamiya, and I had an absolute blast doing the live stream. A lot of people checked in to see how it was going. Tamiya even checked in. Tamiya USA were on the live stream helping me through some of the steps. I cannot wait to get this outside. The weather's been absolute garbage here. It's been raining pretty much nonstop, but I will get it out soon, do a proper running video and a final review video too to go with it, because I think it definitely deserves that. And man, oh man, it just looks so darn good. I'm so happy that I didn't paint it box art. I did this kind of mix of purples from a couple of different companies, Traxxas, On Point, and Tamiya paint to kind of create this purple. I think it just absolutely slaps. This is the best Tamiya kit, and I gotta say, remarkably good looking Tamiya kit too. I finished up the driver and painted him all up, and it's ready to race. It's awesome. I'm gonna try to find a nice track to run it on. If not, I'll take it out to Headquake's house, and we'll both have a good rip with it there. I invite you to go check out that whole live stream if you are going to buy one of these, and you definitely should if you are a Tamiya enthusiast or you like vintage inspired buggies with modern stuff in them. This is definitely the one for you. I'll put a link up here. You can check out that live stream at your leisure. Just looks so good. And there's, like, it's smart too. The way that Tamiya did this is pretty cool. So the top panel is Velcroed into place. And you just remove it like that. And then they've got a body pin here. And you pull this body pin, and this post pops out, just like this. And then you lift up this part where the driver is, and slide your battery in there. Really, really smart. Kind of actually reminds me, and I said this in the live stream, but it kind of reminds me of the way that Vanquish did their body mount on the front too. Very cool though, and Lots of innovative stuff going on in here. It's a really, really fun kit, and I highly recommend you getting one. I do believe that they are still on pre-order, but they should be available in stores soon. Just awesome. All right, next on the bench, the Killer Body Gladiator body. It's all wrapped up. Aside from a few stickers, I've still got a few decals to stick on here, but the body has been fully built, all constructed. And there are a lot of really amazing detailed bits and pieces. And this was a very involved build, but I am quite happy with the result. It looks really good. There are a few things about it that are different. It is rather small in comparison to, say, the Axial Gladiator body. This is probably closer to 10th or maybe even 11th scale. Some people have suggested that it's about that size with this wheelbase, 12.3 inch wheelbase. It is quite narrow. Let's count the squares. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 3/4. Fender to fender, so it's pretty narrow. It's not going to tuck a lot of tire, that's for sure. I think most tires are going to end up looking like a 40, 42. It's going to be a thick boy, 100%, once you get the wheels and tires on. And it really does depend on what chassis you're going to put it on. They do mention that it's that it will function with an SCX10 an SCX10, TRX4, TF2 long wheelbase. There's a few different options, but I will say it's probably going to look best on Killer Body's chassis. That's called the Mercury chassis, and that's coming out in a couple of weeks, according to Killer Bodies. That's where I think you would have to make some concessions if you're going to use another chassis, namely in the bed, because this is a full depth bed on the back of this Gladiator, and every single truck out there has shock hoops that would go smashing right through that. So it'll be interesting to see how the Mercury chassis handles that. I mean, it is designed for this body. There will be a full interior available as well. All the doors do open, apparently. Oh my gosh, there we go. I didn't want to break the paint, but there you go. See, full door cards. There is a dashboard. All of those pieces will go with the full interior that will be available separately as well. So aside from a few decals, this body is done. And it looks great. I'm really pleased with it. I think it's nicely detailed. I just wish it was a little bit larger. I know that what they did was go for the 12.3 inch wheelbase, which is very common, but there would, like I said, be some concessions you'd need to make. You need to do some sort of rear suspension setup that would be different from what exists on most of the trucks that are available right now. Otherwise, though, it's very cool, and my thanks to Killer Body for sending it my way. Okay, on to the next thing. This next thing has got me very chuffed. Yep, it's the BRX02 Land Rover Series 3, and this does have me very chuffed. I love old-timey Land Rovers, and I'm so excited about this one. This has been a long time coming. I know that Boomracing has been working on this forever. This is a fully licensed Land Rover Series 3 long wheelbase single cab pickup kit. So it does have the BRX02 underneath it, but with some very significant changes in order to accommodate this goofball Land Rover body with the front fenders that kind of extend out past the grille. So they've done a lot of changes to that chassis. I've got to dive in and start building this, and I may actually start immediately after this episode is done recording, because there is a lot to do, and I want to get this done sooner rather than later so I can actually go out and drive it. I've been waiting months for this. Actually, probably I knew about this maybe a year ago, I'd like to say, and Jason at Boomracing has been amazing. He's always kept me up to speed on what's going on with the kit, and I was one of the first ones to be able to order one, so I'm very pleased about that opportunity, and I cannot wait to show this off in a very classy running video, because, you know, it's British, it's gotta be classy. Pip pip and all that. Let's do a quick unboxing while we're here. It's, you know, probably fun to go ahead and see what's in the box. What's in the box? What's in the box? So of course, first things first, there is the hard body kit. It comes packaged in its own box, and that's gonna be mega fun. We do get some stickers with some licensed Land Rover stickers in there. Eat, sleep, Land Rover. I'm not stuck, I'm thinking. It's actually pretty funny, I like that. There's the manual, tons of instructions to go through and lots of builds. This is on leaf springs, as it should be. This Land Rover actually came with those. You do get these fancy laser etched license plates. I think that's kind of cool. And then we've got a bunch of assorted parts. These are all nicely organized here, and most of the things, like the axles, come pre-assembled. That's one thing I do like about the Boomracing kits, is that they don't mess around and they do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. I mean, there's a lot of assembly already. There's still a lot of assembly for you to do yourself, but it's nice that they kind of do some of the work for you. This is a new, I believe this is a new tire for Boomracing, the Mileage Classic from Boomracing. It looks fantastic. You get the 5-bolt Landy wheels, which are accurate. They look really good too. Really nice sheen on those. Got all your leaf spring packs, assorted lubricants, screws and gears, parts. Everything's nicely labeled. Parts. We're gonna need those. They do include a nice micro servo for the shifting mechanism for the 2-speed. And here, this is especially, everybody gets a plaque. And I think you could ask to get it personalized, and I, of course, got mine personalized. I think this is something you can ask for. I can't remember how it works exactly, but this plaque goes on top of the electronics box, and there's the Series 3 Land Rover, and it says chuffed. And there is a VIN number. That VIN does apply to this chassis, and it's transferable as well. Nice looking transmission parts. They really do a good job, and I had a great time putting together my first BRX02, so I cannot wait to put my second one together. While we're here, let's take a look at the body kit. I'm kind of curious about that myself. Let's see what we got here. Probably lots of parts. Ooh, yes, the spare tire roof. Did they give you enough tires for a spare tire? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there's only 4 in here. All your door panels, and there's the other hood just in case. Some interior parts, some assorted plastic bits. There's the roof for it, single cab roof. There's the portion of the interior there. Oh yeah. Oh hey, look at that. There is the other tire. Right on. Chuffed again. Big bed. That is beefy. That's a well molded piece. Ah yes. Like any good Boomracing product, enjoy being a badass. I will. Sold. I'm good. I cannot wait to put this together. Should we do it as a convertible or as the hardtop? Put a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many as I can. And if you're enjoying this video, and I think we've already said this, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. Lots of stuff happening, as per usual. Hope you're enjoying this series. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next week.